Welcome to the Cinefied Podcast, the show where we enlighten you on what film to watch next by discussing the latest projects brought either to the silver screen or the comfort of your own home. I'm your host, Connor, and joined with me are fellow members of Cinefied, Joe, Josh, and John. Thanks for coming. So today we are discussing the new 20th century film that is debuting on Hulu. It is called Eenie Meanie. It stars Samara Weaving, Carl Guzman, Jermaine Fuller, Marshawn Lynch, Randall Park, Steve Zahn, and Andy Garcia, and Sean Simon's directorial debut. The premise goes, a reformed teenage getaway driver is dragged back into an unsavory past when a former employer offers her a chance to save the life of her chronically unreliable ex-boyfriend. I wrote the review for Cinefied.com, and out of my review, I said, upon first sight, Eenie Meanie can be considered a Baby Driver adjacent thriller set against the backdrop of dystopian Cleveland, fueled by its fantastic chase sequences and the high-octane performance at the wheel. Functioning as writer-director Sean Simon's directorial debut, this is a grand starting point, assisted by the producing duo of Rhett Reese and Paul Warnick, Deadpool and Zombieland. So I'm going to go ahead and say, based on my review, that I enjoyed this film quite a bit. I saw this twice on Hulu, and I, on second viewing, enjoyed it far more than the first time. I actually wrote my review based on my second viewing experience. So I will dive deeper into it as we go along, but let's just go down the line. Josh, what are your thoughts?
I liked it. I didn't love it. The fact that you compared it to Baby Driver, like, instantly takes it down a little bit to me because I think Baby Driver is such a perfect film. I thought Samara was great in the lead. I thought for a debut film, this looked great. I thought some of the things didn't quite pay off and didn't quite hit, but it was overall fun. And I agree that a second viewing did help.
Okay, thank you, Josh. What about you, Joe?
I think Eenie Meanie really wants to roar, but instead of accelerating, it just idles. The trouble is the movie never really trusts its own momentum. The opening chase sequence, that little number with Sweetie and his Monte Carlo, really teases the ride ahead, but it really only becomes a tease. For a movie that's supposed to be about speed, I thought the tonal inconsistency had the movie slowing down when it should have sped up.
Yeah, great. And John, what is your criticism?
All right, so Eenie Meanie is a terrible, terrible film. It's terrible because it is a heist drag car kind of movie in name only. There's a few brilliant chase sequences that are fun to watch, but they're too few and far in between. Samara Weaving is good in a title role, and between the very sparse race sequences and her performance, nothing else about this film is redeemable or quality. I'll get more into this when we dive into it, but just, the mask of being this heist flick is thinly veiled for a very poorly written rom-com, without the laughs, without the chills, without the insight, without depth. And I was so happy when it ended, and it also bored me. So just stay away from Eenie Meanie. That's my 2 cents.
All right. Well, before we go into spoiler territory, let's go ahead and dive into a few of the questions I've laid out. One of the things that always irritates me when it comes to advertising and promotional things for films is that they can always try to advertise in such a way that makes people go and watch, and then it ends up not being the film they expect. I think the trailer is very misleading in that it says from the guys that wrote Deadpool, when they're just producers here. They had nothing to do with the film itself besides being executive producers. I was wondering, when this kind of things happens, do you think that ultimately builds a hype that is unwarranted for a film like this? Did you even know that the guys from Zombieland and
Paul Warnick.
Thank you, that they were involved in this film before seeing the credits?
I don't think I didn't watch any trailers. I don't know if I knew anything about it when I turned it on. So I kind of went in blind and went at it like that. But yeah, usually if you see producers, it doesn't tell me anything. I look at the director, a writer, a star.
Yeah. Joe?
Yeah, I did see the trailer. I do recall seeing that, but I don't think it had any significant weight. That's just a typical Hollywood marketing scheme.
Gotcha. John?
Yeah, I just read the copy of the synopsis, and I didn't see a trailer. I didn't even see the poster really. It's like the screen cap on Hulu, and to echoing Joe's point, it's like a gimmick. It's like when the new martial arts film comes out, says Quentin Tarantino presents. Like they're trying to sell you on the name of Quentin Tarantino. The film though has nothing to do with Quentin Tarantino in any respect. So like, I personally don't put stock in those kind of selling points. I just want to see, like Josh said, like who actually wrote it, who directed it, who's starring in it, and what's their catalog look like, what's their track record, and that will influence my impression going into the film.
Gotcha. Yeah, when I was on social media right after watching it the first time, I noticed that there were advertisements on several accounts when I searched the hashtag for Eenie Meanie that they were like, oh, this is from the writers of Deadpool. This should be hilarious. And that's kind of why I brought this point up. So yeah, definitely know that going in that this is just produced by them. It does not have any of the comedic chops of Zombieland or Deadpool. It's more of a straightforward thriller drama with maybe light dabbling in comedy.
Yeah, I think I laughed once, and it was at Randall Park.
Okay. I think I also laughed at Randall Park. I think I laughed at Andy Garcia, maybe. So
was he funny?
I think he was funny at some point. So
John says no.
No,
unintentionally. Yeah.
But yeah, well, and that also just to bring it all the way around to my point and bringing it up is that's why I hate when that kind of advertising is done. And I know it's all just a stunt, but because you got Jordan Peele's Him, and it's not Jordan Peele's Him. It's just he's producing it, but his name is attached to the top of the poster, which is very misleading. Because even like The Challenge, which is a reality show I watched, they had a whole segment where TJ is like, it's like Jordan Peele's new like stunning like horror thriller Him. I'm like, but it's not him. So, but I think Samara Weaving is a terrific performer in almost any film she's in, no matter the quality of the ultimate picture. And this one is no different. I do think she is fantastic here. I think that she really hones into holding her emotions in. And then you see at a moment near the end, let's just go ahead and dive into spoilers, actually. Near the end, and this is your warning, people listening, 3, 2, 1. So basically, Samara Weaving has to make the difficult decision to kill her long-term on and off again boyfriend that's very toxic in her life. And when she does that, there's this emotion that just is released out of her. And it's very in tune with other performance we've seen from her, where you just have like so much like emotion coming through in her facial like mannerisms. And I think that's me in particular, anytime Samara Weaving is even on a poster or in a film whatsoever, and I know she's going to be there, I'm excited. I'm just wondering, was she at all like a selling point when you went in, or are you not on the Samara bandwagon?
I thought she was good. I thought it was interesting that she'd never driven a car before this movie. I did watch some background and saw that she had to, like, she couldn't drive a car down the street. So she lied in the job interview for the movie, and they had to teach her from scratch how to do all this. She got training. Watching it a second time, knowing that, I kind of looked for her movements a little more, and she's looking behind her, and she's selling it pretty well. I thought, yeah, when she did something that required a strong emotion, she hit those beats maybe everyone around her weren't coming, playing the same kind of game she was, but I thought she was solid.
What about you, Joe or John?
Yeah, no, I enjoy her as an actress. I think I first noticed her back when she was with Bill and Ted Face the Music, when she played was it Bill's daughter? That was a comedic role, and I thought that movie did a good job with bringing in a new generation. In Ready or Not, kind of like Eenie Meanie, I thought that was a tonally inconsistent movie, really ridiculous plot, but she was really the star, and she made that movie. And then to go from two comedy movies to Azrael, where it was a dark, a serious movie. The no dialogue gimmick really was a gimmick, but again, she sold that movie. And with Eenie Meanie, she is fully in the driver's seat. This is her movie. If you are a Samara Weaving fan, this is a movie for you to watch.
And John, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, Samara Weaving, she's had some questionable projects in her tenure. Ready or Not, I thought was way more fun than this piece of crap. But even in Guns Akimbo, and then the dramatic turns in Azrael, which also didn't think was a strong film, but she really carried that film on her back. And even the 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri was also a very good turn for her. And even her little short cameo in the beginning of Scream 5, Scream 6, whatever Scream movie she
Scream
was in.
6.
I'm like, man, she's really great. I want her, like, I keep harking back to Roger Ebert's critique of Reservoir Dogs. And what I mean by that is Roger Ebert said of that movie, oh, Tarantino made a great film. Now, or he made a good film. Now he has to go make a better one. And he did with Pulp Fiction. I'm not trying to bring up Tarantino this whole discussion. That's just, coincidence. But
I mean, that's all right. Anytime you can bring in Tarantino, it makes the party better.
That's right. But Samara Weaving, like I said earlier, she is the best part of this film. And she's asked to do so much, and she does so much. Driving, acting, fighting, the whole 9. And like, if nothing else, if you're just at least slightly curious about Eenie Meanie, the strength of Samara Weaving's performance alone is probably the only selling point I could sell to anyone about it.
And I've already brought this up, but myself and others I've seen have compared this to Baby Driver in a way. Do you think that comparison, which I do fully agree, just to be clear, that it's nowhere near Edgar Wright's Baby Driver. Baby Driver it's not my favorite Edgar Wright film, but it's fantastic. So do you think that's a justifiable comparison due to what this film is?
I'll jump for it then first. No, I think it's like saying every gangster film is related to another because they have gangsters in it. Like, this is as similar to Baby Driver as it is to Drive. Like, it's just got a getaway driver in it. It's got criminals in it, and it's got a city that's like the underbelly of a city, like, aesthetic to it, and that's about all the DNA it shares. And Baby Driver is leaps and bounds better, but it is also tonally in a different league than Eenie Meanie, I would say.
Yeah, the tone thing bothered me. I thought this movie didn't know if it wanted to be like an indie dramedy or like an action flick or like a comedy. It felt a little schizophrenic. Is it? I mean, I think it wants to be Baby Driver a little bit, but Baby Driver had the great music cues. Baby Driver had some of the best music I've ever seen in a movie ever.
Yeah.
And that's Edgar
So did
Wright's
Drive.
special gift. Yeah.
They're very different, but yes, yeah, you're right, John.
Yeah, Baby Driver, right, was a genre evolution. And Eenie Meanie just falls within the genre. There's nothing within Eenie Meanie that pushes those boundaries. It all plays within that genre sandbox. But we just said, about Edgar Wright's film. It was part music video, part crime movie. It had a completely different tone, and it had a consistent tone which is what we're missing here. I think if Eenie Meanie was to be compared to anything, there was a movie that came out in 2019 called Finding Steve McQueen. It was an indie movie based on a real life heist that occurred. Takes place in Ohio, or at least it starts to take place in Ohio. And the regional texture of that setting is something that I kept thinking about as I was watching Eenie Meanie.
Okay, well, and one thing you said, Joe, was that it is more, this film, when you compare it to Baby Driver, definitely falls more just in the genre. It's not like elevating anything, and this does have the 20th Century Studios banner on it. And so generally, and that's not always the case, but generally that means that it was originally slated to go to a theater and then they dropped it on Hulu. Do you think that or Disney Plus, depending on where you watch, do you think that is right, that it was straight to streaming? Like, do you think that this would have been better on a big screen, or is it better to have seen it where you saw it?
I think some of that is generational. I think for younger viewers, Gen Z, maybe younger millennials that can relate more to the characters of John and Edie, this might be a better thrill ride for them to see in the theater. But for a Gen Xer like myself that grew up watching Bullet on video, and even seeing Bobby De Niro in was it Shogun, right? No, Ronin. Ronin, which had that phenomenal car chase scene. Not to mention just Baby Driver that we talked about. Eenie Meanie just doesn't compare. So having this show up on a streamer totally aligns, I think, with the performance of the movie and maybe even what the studio saw once everything was completed.
Anybody else want to build on that, or are we good to go to the next?
I'll just jump on that too real quickly. I think, to Joe's point, yeah, it is generational, and it's how we consume our media. And like, listen, I'm almost 40, and I love going to the theater, sitting down with a bowl of popcorn and a soda or whatever, and enjoying a big screen. But I want to enjoy myself. So this film, I think there's a reason why the studio dropped it off at Hulu's doorstep, is because they didn't have the faith in this film to perform well, and I think they made the right call. Because I think I see the Gen Zers who are consuming probably arguably the most media right now. I know data to support that claim, but I'm just going off gut instinct here. They're watching Eenie Meanie on their phones.
Yeah.
Maybe their laptops. I watch it on my TV with surround sound because that's how I roll. But if this came into the theater marketplace, I would probably skip it till it came out to the streaming cycle to see it myself. So I guess it just really depends. But I think Hulu did I keep saying that, the studio rather made the right call in dumping it to Hulu for distribution.
Yeah, I wasn't mad about it watching it on Hulu on a channel that I already pay for. If I had to go into a theater, I might have walked out going, well, that kind of sucked. It felt appropriate for where it was.
Yeah, I do think that's a valid point. And as someone that does have like the subscription service like type thing with theaters, it's less of an impact, if you go in, because ultimately if you have a subscription thing, you're wasting the same amount of time in a theater versus at home. You just can't walk away from it. So I personally think that I think, like I mentioned, I did see this twice. I enjoyed it more on my second viewing. I do think that if it was a theatrical release, I would have just stuck with the one-time viewing, and I would have definitely given it a confirmed half, which was my original score. Going into why I did raise it up, the film does revolve around the idea of having to remove toxicity from your life in order to move on to start anew. During the duration of the film, a lot of different characters, and especially at the end, do different things to remove that toxicity from their life and just kind of, get a breather. And you see that with Steve Zahn's character, where he's completely dropped out of, which is a problem with the film. Also, I will state is that Steve Zahn is, in my opinion, he's great in his little role that he's here. I've not seen Steve Zahn in a good minute. I haven't seen Andy Garcia in a good minute. And I think they're both great in their minimal roles. But in that, and I just skipped over my original thing to this now, but in that, Andy Garcia, Steve Zahn, I think they're great. Do you think that there needed to be more flashbacks / definition to their characters here? Josh, go ahead.
The second time I watched this, I skipped the second Steve Zahn part entirely. I fast forwarded it because when I watched it the first time, I went, well, why the fuck did he come back? That added nothing to the film at all. So I skipped it, and it was a better movie. There were things in the ending that I didn't feel like they were earned, and they were a little out of order. The whole thing with the I dream about 2 bathrooms and being raised in foster care. Like, start the movie in foster care. Show some of that if you're going to pay it off at the end. That felt really disconnected. And then I felt like the last scene with Andy Garcia, I felt like Joe should have shot Andy Garcia's character, and then Samara Weaving should have shot Joe then.
Or John.
Yeah. It went.
John,
Is that his name?
John,
I already forgot his name. So that felt out of order to me. The last thing she should have done before driving off into the sunset is shoot the guy that she's been with for 15 years. It's been such a big part of her life, rather than this father figure that we really didn't develop.
Yeah, well, that is one of the things that I had an issue with on first viewing, and that I don't know, it's just something with Andy Garcia and Samara Weaving's interaction at the end that I did actually like more, and even their interaction when John's being a complete asshole at their meeting, which he has no liberty to do, which is the whole reason why the whole film you think that he is pure toxicity for Samara Weaving's character's life, Edie's life, and but you can tell there's definitely a lot of things that Samara's done, or I can't keep saying Samara, but Edie has done for Andy Garcia's character, which I don't know what his character's name is, but Nico, that's done for Nico. And that's my issue, is that I don't know how well they could have done flashbacks, but I mean, I personally think, I mean, I'm a person that I prefer, if you're going to do a flashback, just like pretend like they look the same 15 years ago, because like wear a backwards ball cap, don't do de-aging and stuff,
I thought the kid at the beginning was fine, but I
thought that was good. I wish that was more played out, because that is one of my things that I think I might texted you, Josh, about it. I texted somebody about the that scene with Steve Zahn at where he brings up that she put him in that wheelchair. Is it implied that that is what occurred after the scene cut away?
Absolutely.
Okay. I didn't know if it was like a future event, because on second watching, I was like, oh, okay. So that's like, but then it's just like, I would imagine as a kid, like going and causing a crash that possibly killed your mom. That's, unclear. And then, crippled your stepdad. I mean, I would feel like, why would you want to get back in the driver's seat? So that's one of my things, is that I think maybe leaving that kind of like more of an afterthought made me like it more, because now that I'm thinking about it too much, it's making me dislike it more.
Yeah.
So what do you think about circling back, just because, and then I want to get more into depth of your reactions to the film itself. But what do you think about the move to have her kill John like in the end? Because was that expected, or did that catch you off guard in the moment? What was your reaction?
So I thought that her killing John was telegraphed very early on.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go into more detail, like you're alluding to, we will, Connor. I'll expand more on that there. But this movie telegraphs this whole procedure happening. And I was like, okay, this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. And it played out like, because it was so obvious. I want to save my thoughts on, because I have many, many more things to say. But I'll let everyone else go, and whenever we go deeper, Connor, I'll jump in with that there. Thanks.
Yeah, I think really what begins as a crime caper for the movie really becomes, it shifts more into becoming a morality play. And that transition isn't seamless at all. And when the transition does occur, it's not given the proper weight, and it eliminates some of the weight from the first half of the movie or the first three quarters of the movie.
You know, I was kind of bored with John and Edie up until, he kind of brings her that necklace in the casino and they have a kind of a sweet moment. And then in that moment, I'm rooting for them. I wasn't, and then I was, and then he's dead. And I'm going, well, what am I supposed to feel here? Who am I supposed to root for? It didn't really feel earned to me.
Well, I do like that sequence of events because he ultimately, the whole thing is that she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel
she's
comfortable.
4 months pregnant and she looks like Samara Weaving, by the way. I had to pause it. I paused it and I Googled what a 3.5-month-old pregnancy belly looked like. And then I saw, I don't know, that's a whole other thing, but like, just make it 2 months.
Yeah.
Just write it something different. There are little things in the script that just bug me, and it took me out of the movie and I'm thinking about shit rather than watching them race cars.
Well, that could have been a good moment to there's some. Okay, I'm gonna revoke my rating that I've told you guys. I'm gonna. I'm keeping it on the site. If you want to know my opinions previous to this, you can go read it on Cinefied.com. Just to be clear, I gave it a full on the site. Yeah, I mean, I think that I do wish there was more to do with the baby in general, because as you said, it's not noticeable, which is, some people won't mind that. I mean, I didn't mind that until you brought it up, but I am like wondering, like, they only brought that up that one moment and it was because of a blood test, and she had no like second opinion about it or anything. Like, it's just kind of like, I guess I'm pregnant. It wasn't like she did that and then she ran out and did like pregnancy tests, which, why would you do that? But it just shows the audience like, oh, she's, not trusting in the doctor. But I do think that the sequence of her telling, she didn't want to tell John because John is an emotionally abusive guy that's toxic in her life. And then she then has a nice moment with him in the hotel room. And then then it seems like, oh, maybe he is turning a new leaf. And then he buys her that necklace, which is good, out of good faith. But then you even, like, after the whole the whole robbery happens, and then they get together in the car, there's like a nice little moment in the car. And then when it all comes crashing down, I fully felt that, in my opinion, though, when because it's kind of like, yeah, is he, because he knows that he has to be a dad now, is he like literally going to go like, he just can't help himself. He's too, so like he ultimately like is too impulsive, and it ends up being bad for everybody. So I mean, I fully felt Samara or Edie's feelings when he killed the two henchmen. And then, I mean, I was on board for that plot line. I do wish there was more action, especially with the trailer kind of advertising it as such, as more of a robbery movie. And I wish there was more backstory to like the heist in general. Like, it's just kind of like, yeah, we're doing a heist, and it's an easy peasy job for millions of dollars. So, but all right, I want to stop talking because I'm rambling. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to start with John. John, from beginning to end, and Josh, if you want to step in, just kind of like raise your hand, and then I'll stop John. So if you want to say something. But John, what did you like, and let's start with likes about the film, and then you can.
Could be a short list, pal.
That's fine. That's why we're starting there.
All right, what I liked about Eenie Meanie was Samara Weaving's performance, and I liked the very few car frantic action sequences we got. End of list. Everything else about this movie was awful.
Didn't you like Randall Park?
No.
Oh.
No. I like no. Hang on. Let me clarify. I like Randall Park. I liked him in this movie. He was totally undercapitalized.
Yeah.
And this is my problem with Eenie Meanie. It's so unfocused and poorly written. And I don't mean not just about the little nuanced things, or what Josh was bringing up about the pregnancy. It was like this whole film it tried to be this almost power grab for the female character to get away from her toxic boyfriend. But no, it wrote right into a narrative of abusive boyfriends, abusive relationships women have with men. Sean Simmons, right, the writer director, does not know how to write women. That's blatantly obvious because she carries around this albatross of a boyfriend. She should have dropped him months ago. She doesn't bring up the pregnancy forever in this film. Like she's walked in, oh, you're getting your ass kicked? That sucks. Also, I'm pregnant. Bye. I understand they have to sell a movie and there has to be like a device to move the plot, but it was so cheap. I hated this movie because of how it writes its women characters, because it tries to set it up like, oh, a big cathartic moment. She shoots the boyfriend. She, has a touching, reconnective moment with Steve Zahn, who also was a terrible character. And Andy Garcia was using her again. She's spent her whole life being manipulated by men. And it was like this weird, unfocused, and poorly written narrative to get her from here to here. And I didn't buy any of it. It was like, and like, oh my God, the scene in the hotel when he gets the necklace and she finally tells him she's pregnant. And he's like, oh, we're going to be a family. It's like, bro, fuck off. Fuck you, dude.
I bought that in the moment.
No.
Maybe I wanted to, but I was like, all right, give me something to root for here.
The writer director wanted you to buy that too.
Yeah.
But all it was like, it was a man who fucks up continuously, consistently, is that albatross, and then she pulls his ass out of the fire and props him enough so he can be the hero. And it's a dangerous message to send to young women right now. It is. I hate this movie for that crap. Not only that, it undersold its racing, its driving, its action. It mismanaged and did not use Randall Park. Marshawn Lynch needs to call his manager, his agent, and say, do you quit putting me in mid-ass movies?
That was a head scratcher.
Yeah.
That, Steve Zahn and Andy Garcia, guys, I'm sorry the mortgage was due, but this is not your best work. Like, I fucking hate this movie. It is so shit.
No, well,
my favorite thing about this movie is how much John hates this movie.
Yeah, they kind of me too. But one of my things that I do have to point out though is as I've said, and obviously we disagree about Steve Zahn and Andy Garcia, but I really like both of them, and I think it's because I don't know if I've really seen Steve Zahn since, but I don't know.
That thing you do,
I went back to
Silo season 2.
Yeah.
What was it, Jeff?
Silo season 2.
Oh, see, I didn't watch that. Yeah. Okay, but I heard it's fantastic. So I've not seen.
It's great.
I haven't seen a dramatic role from him except for like Joyride, which I love. Joyride, which is a horror film.
And let me clarify, please. Like I like Steve Zahn. Yeah, I liked him in the show Treme on HBO. He was great in that show.
Don't know that one.
It's set in New Orleans, shot in New Orleans. When I was living in New Orleans, it was great. Look it up if it's still on HBO Max.
HBO, right? Yeah,
HBO Max. Yeah.
Cool.
But and Andy Garcia, he's a legend. Like he's got way more hits than misses for sure.
Yeah.
But this felt like a paycheck movie for both of them.
I actually enjoyed Andy Garcia in this movie. I liked his restraint and his quietness. This is a role that could have been louder and could have been hammy and could have been cliche mob. Yeah. And he didn't. He brought it down.
If you want to see Andy Garcia phoning it in, doing a loud ass performance, it's Expendables 4. Expendables 4, he is atrocious.
2 points for Connor. That's right.
But I mean, I remember what I was going to say. Josh, sorry for everybody listening. I lose my train of thought every 2 seconds.
It's half the fun.
Yeah, Josh, a pop culture leftovers type thing. It's another podcast. It's no longer running. Highly recommend go check that out.
Yeah.
Josh, do you remember when Brian from Pop Culture Leftovers kept bringing up a show called Wayne that got canceled? It was based off a graphic novel. Okay, but he was raving about Wayne.
Okay.
And Wayne is like it got canceled after its first season due to poor ratings. This Sean Simons is the creator of Wayne. So that's why I brought it up. But since we don't have a connection, we're going to move on. Right. So go ahead, John. Continue on your critiques.
So this is going to be my final thoughts on this. Unless we spin her back around and do this final wrap up too. But I'll say this about Eenie Meanie that I haven't said yet. This is going to be forgotten in a week. We're still talking today about Baby Driver. We're still talking today about Drive.
Bullet.
Those films and Bullet, Smokey and the Bandit, Gone in 60 Seconds, both of them. We'll still talk about those films. This film is a skid mark by comparison. It doesn't deserve to park in the same garage as those movies do. And I'm sorry I saw it. I'm just going to be straight up. Not a fan of Eenie Meanie. And I'm going to pause there. I'm going to let the temperature come down on my side of the screen and let someone else pick up the ball.
John wants the eternal sunshine of the spotless mind treatment just to wipe his memory, just to wipe this movie from his memory.
Yeah, I might as well start drinking heavily, see if I can purge it from my recent memory. But all I got is Coke Zero, so I'll have to fight another day.
This episode is sponsored by Coke Zero.
Yeah, Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. Yeah, let's go. What's Joe got? Joe, are you?
Come on, Joe.
Come on, Joe.
Come on. What is it?
Oh,
yeah. The harder stuff. All right.
I get the win there.
There you go, Joe.
All right, let's climb the ladder. Joe, go ahead and dive into your thoughts if you have any more about the first. Start with the positives and then go into the negatives.
Yeah, well, I mentioned, I liked Andy Garcia in this movie. I liked again, Samara Weaving and her role, how she brought everything together on this. I think that there just wasn't enough room for this movie to keep accelerating. There wasn't enough mileage. There was some sharp character work. I thought at times the movie was really well constructed. Samara, plays a great lead. She plays a great driver. Josh, I didn't know that she didn't know how to drive leading into this. That opening chase scene where they were in the Monte Carlo reminded me of scenes from J.J. Abrams' TV show Duster, which I really enjoyed. Duster was a genre piece that was really quirky and didn't quite fit in anywhere. And there were elements of that I also saw in this with the driving sequences. She was believable. It looked like she was in command. Anyone that wants to see Samara Weaving in command of a car, this is definitely the movie for them. But there wasn't enough chase. There wasn't enough of that pulse-pounding ride that the trailer hinted at, and I think that you wanted to have going in. I mentioned the tonal shift. Not only was there a tonal shift right in the script on how dark the movie suddenly got, but also with the music. The whole heist, you have that wonderful Yaz flute, you have the slide guitar playing, and then all of a sudden, all of that drops. And Connor, I understand some of what you were saying, with what you liked. And John, yes, absolutely. I totally agree with what you were saying with the toxicity and not showing women in a proper role or in a proper environment with going forward. But at the same time, this is a fiction movie. There are supposed to be protagonists and antagonists. And the movie was really cliche in setting both up, but it did set both up. In the end result, though, it was too cautious of a movie.
That's fair. Josh, if you want to go ahead and start yours.
Yeah, I mean, based on everything else you guys are saying, I feel like there were gut punches that could have been had that were really kind of swinging and misses.
Mm.
The Christmas scene at the end did absolutely nothing for me because we didn't really establish what she was going home to. Thinking about what John's saying about the male toxicity,
Real
she
quick,
has.
I
Yeah,
apologize, but I want to go to what you just said because I totally forgot to bring up that closing scene. What just had no impact. Like her walking off into the distance after the Andy Garcia thing. That's when the film should have shut off to me. I don't think the adding in her going home did anything. I think like if they were alluding to like, oh, like because that's supposed to be her kid, right?
right.
Yes.
So
it said 8 months later or something.
Did
like
it? I didn't see a time jump card, but maybe
it was more than 8 months because
it was a few years.
Oh yeah, no, totally, yeah.
Unless it was a 3.5 months pregnant thing again. 2
But-
months later, and the kid's 10.
But like, yeah, to Josh's point or to Connor's point, they didn't set that up. Like did she want to open up her own record business? I don't remember if she said that or not because she owns like her own record business. I know the only thing they set up was she wanted to own her own home that had 2 bathrooms.
Right.
Like, cool.
But they set that up 5 minutes before they gave it to us.
I know.
So set that up in the beginning.
But they didn't even show that. That's another thing. It's like she brings up that whole thing about how she wants to own a home with 2 bathrooms. I don't even know if that house has 1 bathroom. They didn't show anything.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think that was the right way to close it.
If it closed with her walking off and pregnant and holding her belly, that would have been more symbolic and powerful, because again, it was just this JV level of filmmaking here where they had to show you some epilogue that she has a kid and she's got her life together and yada yada. Like, that's great. Like, that was implied because she cut the fruit off. So
yeah.
Man, this movie pisses me off. Anyway,
I thought they could have they set up her friend earlier working in the restaurant harassing her boss at the diner.
Yes, they did.
If you would have opened the movie in foster care, she's standing in line waiting for a bathroom, and the best friend that she ends the movie with is she's in that scene. And then when she gets to end in her own house with 2 bathrooms with her best friend that made with her through all that shit together. To John's point about the male toxicity, she has a little boy at the end. So she's been the victim of these toxic males her whole life, and then she's got to raise one. Man, that could have been a super gut punch if this was a different, better, stronger movie.
Like you said, Josh, this movie was more tell instead of show.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah.
Did it feel, and I don't want to interrupt any more of your negatives and positives, Josh, but did it feel like there was that chase sequence with Marshawn Lynch, and then there's that all of a sudden crash with John and Samara crying over his supposedly possibly dead body, and then Marshawn Lynch gets in the car, leaves, and it just kind of like suddenly cuts.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Marshawn Lynch at like a hotel, like a rendezvous.
There's a moment in there too where we're supposed to think Steve Zahn's character is going to show up in the other car because she went to his house. That doesn't pay off at all, making that scene completely useless. Yeah, it's
well, I don't think that scene's useless because that scene is showing that he has been able to, because he was a drug user, an alcoholic, an abusive father, and he's been able to move past.
Put him at Christmas dinner at the end.
He should have been there. That's true.
Come on.
Yeah,
it never pays off anything. This movie doesn't pay off anything. I'm like John. I'm getting madder and madder.
And do those cars exist where like people in wheelchairs can drive cars?
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Has one like that. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Barbara Gordon's got one in the Batman comics.
Oh, really? I'm out of here. But all right, Josh, continue on after your swig.
I'm done. I'm good.
Oh, okay. So Marshawn Lynch, we've already touched on him lightly, and we have about 10 minutes left, and then we're going to wrap up our conversation. I just want to hit a few more just things that are popping into my head. Marshawn Lynch, I loved him in Bottoms. I thought he was hilarious in that film, and I think that when I don't know if I've seen him in anything that he's like a serious, like dramatic or action star that I could take him serious. Like, I think he was okay here, but I don't think he's doing anything. Like, I think what works so well in Bottoms is that he's very dry, and I think that comedically it works similar to like Liam Neeson, where it's just like him being dry and his delivery's dry. But I'm just wondering, like, was that performance just kind of underwhelming to you guys too, Marshawn Lynch? And do you think they should have just removed that whole aspect of like the betrayal? Because I don't know if they really needed that. I guess maybe I don't think they really needed it at all.
I don't think he needed to be in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Like, I get you want to have like a third antagonist or something to kind of like just jab it, stick it sideways a little bit more to the hero. But it was, and the only prop and purpose for Marshawn Lynch's character was he was a means to an end to get another chase scene or racing scene. And again, that was fun, but like he plays this very kind of flat, easygoing, like it plays roles that don't need much from him, from his acting chops, which is fine. He's in his wheelhouse, so I think he does well for what he can do. But I don't think he really added or subtracted much from this movie other than providing another way to have a chase scene.
Yeah. Well, and just to be clear, I don't think he was terrible in like this Kiwa Kwan movie. I can't remember what the hell that was.
Love Hurts.
Love Hurts. I didn't think he was terrible.
It hurt
in that.
to watch that one.
But the direction, the editing is what hurts that movie. So,
yeah. I can't believe they wasted Kiwi Kwan in that movie.
Yeah, I love that guy.
I know.
I mean, I still, even with all these things we're talking about this movie, I still highly recommend this movie over Love Hurts. Well, Love Hurts 100%. Hurt my eyes.
Yeah.
So
I reviewed that for the first.
Yeah, I know it hurt your eyes. I know.
Yeah.
But one of the things that it took me a minute to remember what I strongly disliked about Marshawn Lynch's character is that they try to establish that he's like kind of like a drug abuser, a psychopath type guy, and he like lights himself on fire by mistake, and he has like a burnt up face, but the camera is never on the burnt up face except for a single close up. And it's not the best makeup, but it's just like the camera's like always on this side of his face. Why not do the makeup here? To establish,
or pan across it.
So when he's like Freddy Krueger, like you have a fucked up face or whatever, I'm like, he does? He looks like Marshawn Lynch.
They set that up so they could have the other joke pay off later, which it didn't.
No. I do think that we mentioned earlier that one of the jokes that I don't remember what one of you said, but there was a joke that landed earlier in the film. I think it was Randall Park. But I do think that the joke with the Tesla, I did laugh at that.
I laughed at that one. That got me. That was a funny one.
So
I think that was it.
Okay. So we laughed at the same one then. So yeah, I don't know if I have much else. I do think that going into things that I personally disliked about it, even before like learning all these dislikes you guys have, is I wish the plan was better laid out. They do the whole thing with the I don't know why the thing about the laid out. I did also laugh at when what is his name? Jermaine Fuller and Samara are in the office, and Samara's like, it's like, does he have a thing for black chicks with big tits? And he's like, there's some small tits around here.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of funny
too. A chuckle, yeah.
But I just wish there was more of like, I mean, I guess they didn't need to do like the stereotypical, but it's so stereotypical to begin with, like so cliche. Just do the heist thing where you show scenes of how the heist should play out. You know, like Oceans, Andy Garcia is in the Ocean films, which is an amazing, it's like a film I watch at least like once, twice a year, the Oceans trilogy, in fact. So I'm like, why not just do like explanation of this is what the plan is, this is what needs to go right, this is how it has to happen. And then when things go awry, then it's like, oh shit, it's going different than the way it was supposed to go. And you have kind of like the visual of like, but instead they just show a layout map of like, this is what we're doing. It's just like, that's not really giving me. So like, I was so confused when she gets in the car, and it's like a cool moment where like you do think that those guys are just suddenly there, like they're not like paid to beat up John, they're just there.
I saw right through that.
Did you? I didn't.
Yeah.
But I was like, but then when they pull the plug, I was just like, what's happening here? Like, why is pulling the plug matter? I was like, oh, it's a turning pedestal. But I was so confused by that, because that was not really said like or properly shown when they were laying out the plan. But yeah, I wish that was better. I do wish they had more. There's just like little moments that I thought were weird to me. Like they made a point where John leaves to go buy that baby necklace, and then she's like, all your stuff's gone. And he's like, yeah, I put it in the vents, I don't trust maids. I'm like, okay, or like, did you go back and get your shit? Like, why the fuck would you bring that up? So I mean, I do kind of like, I do think that I'm not the biggest poker fan, so I don't know how these live events go, but I don't even know if that was televised. Like, it didn't look like they had like a crew like filming it or whatnot. But if you have millions of dollars, which I assume that would be a televised event, and then you put it in a trunk of a car, it's like, why the fuck would you do that?
It was a very, very lazy MacGuffin. That was it.
And it's not even there the whole time. They're like, when he's about to win, they put the money in the thing. It's like, why do you hire armed guards or off-duty officers to? And then I also the whole thing about there was that moment where she basically is trying not to hurt anybody in the casino scene, and she's going fast backwards, and then she ultimately stops with the pregnant woman's there, and I'm like, it's just like, what am I getting out of this moment? Like, is it just like she's also a pregnant lady and I almost hit her? Yeah. So I there's just moments.
Bigger realization.
Yeah. So I just I thought the car chase scene out inside and out of the casino, I thought both car chase scenes were cool. I thought that Randall Park was really good in his little tiny bit. I thought that he, I was shocked that he died, like when he died, and it came out of nowhere. It made me think that he has scheduling conflict. But I mean, I think that's, unless something else pops up, I think that probably does it for me as far as my ultimate thoughts. Just thought did you guys expect, because on second watch, or I asked somebody that watched it as well, that guy, Andy Garcia's, Nico's like childhood best friend that was stealing from him from all these years, did you guys know that he was the one that executed the plans? Because they never established that he was the one that executed the plan. It was obviously Jermaine Fuller. He's like, they're on the way. It's like, but then she's like, did you know that whatever his name, Rob or whatever the hell his name was, like infiltrated your whole thing, and Andy Garcia's not till now. And then that's why he kills him. I'm like, that's been not established at all. I'm like, so I understand the thing where he's just like, he's been stealing from me for years, and I would understand that kind of like, you got rid of what was holding you down, and it was someone that you loved, and that was toxic to you and your lifestyle, so I should do the same to me. But then they make that whole thing where it's like he was trying to rob you, like in this final act. It's like, it came out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and stop my rant. I was not intending to have this episode. So Cinefied, we do a 3-tier rating system. We have a full popcorn, which is a must-see. We have a half full popcorn, which is a maybe, and a empty popcorn or a spilled popcorn, depending on how you look at it. And that's a mistake. Just stay clear. So I will go ahead and go first. As I mentioned earlier, if you've gotten to here, think that it's a maybe now. My initial rating was a full. I do think that there are significant problems with this film. I still had a really good time with the film. I did think that it had a good, it had a good amount of drama. I thought the performances were good. I was so annoyed by the guy that plays John, but it worked in the situation. I thought it was the best Andy Garcia I've seen in a minute. But I do wish it was more all around what it was advertised as. I do think that it needed to be funnier. It needed to have a strong punch up on the script altogether. And I personally am not surprised that it ended up getting dropped on Hulu. And full disclosure, I did eventually get a screener to watch this early, but they were holding this behind like bars. Like it was like no one should watch this except for like the most elite of elite because it's so great. So I don't believe it belongs in that regard. I think it's an okay film at best, and I do think it's worth one watch. But if you miss it, you miss it. It's fine. So Josh, go ahead and give your rating.
Yeah, it's a maybe for me. I still like Samara Weaving. I thought she was actually really good. It's really tonally inconsistent. It needed to be 90 minutes and it was an hour 45. This thing could have been a lot leaner, but if you turn your brain off and you like car chases and you like okay heist movies and you don't expect too much from this movie, it's fun enough for, Friday night on the couch.
All right, Joe, go ahead and share your 2 cents.
Yeah, so look, this is a heist movie. Heist movie is a well-defined genre. It's also a getaway film, which is a well-defined subgenre. Eenie Meanie plays within both of those genre types, but doesn't advance the genre at all. In fact, it just stays on cruise control throughout the whole thing. I'm giving it a half bucket.
All right, so that's a half, and I wonder what John's going to give it. Probably a full. Go ahead.
It's a terrible story and an unremarkable film. If you want to watch Samara Weaving be good, go watch her in Ready or Not. If you want to see a good chase movie with getaway drivers, go see Drive. Go see Baby Driver. Skip this movie. I usually base my rating personal preferences on A, would I watch it again, or B, would I recommend it to anybody to go see? And the answer is no for both of those categories. This was a waste of time, an insult to filmmaking, insult to women and their characters and their strength. This is the bucket turned completely upside down for me. This is beyond the spill of popcorn. This is the vacuum, the popcorn
Burn the popcorn.
This is oh man. Never again.
Well, I guess that goes into, do you think, because you watch a decent amount to cover for Cinefied, would you say that, and including podcast, would you say that this is the worst thing you've watched for Cinefied this year?
No, I'd have to get back to you. In fact, if you give me 2 seconds, I will pull up my Letterboxd and I will tell you, because I've seen this year, I think I've seen over this year alone, I have seen 243 films. 75 films have been released in 2025. So this was pretty bad. Like this was bottom 10 at the moment, just because how insultingly awful it is to heist films and crime films and everything. But for what I've written, what I've seen, what are you saying? What's the worst film I've seen for Cinefied?
Well, it's fine if you have a more efficient list. You can just say in general for this year. Like, what have you seen this year that's worse?
Ooh, that is a tall order, friend. I would start with either Hell of a Summer or Bambi: The Reckoning.
Okay, well, we have different opinions on Bambi, but yeah, I agree wholeheartedly about Hell of a Summer.
and Honey Don't, which I also, in fact, I saw Honey Don't and Eden as well in a quick time span with this film, and it was 0 for 3 for all 3 of those films for me. So
if you had to recommend one of those 3 for
Eden would be the one to watch.
Yep. Yeah, I will, going off the Honey Don't real quick. I also watched Honey You Don't this weekend. Josh, Joe, did you get a chance to see Honey Don't? Honey Don't.
Honey, don't.
It's. I mean, it is. It is just. It's not as bad as Drive Away Dolls. I hate Drive Away Dolls with a passion. And I think Margaret Qualley is good in this one. I think that the problem is everything else. So I think there's way too much going on in that film that is just that. You want to talk about a tonal shift, Joe?
I thought the trailer for that looked great. That's really surprising. They must have cut a good trailer from a bad movie.
Oh, I
100%.
Yeah. I mean, John, do you agree about that tonal shift? Like, do you think the tonal shift in Honey Don't is more drastic than here, though? Because I think that was so. I thought this was not out of left field. This felt like this is what was going to happen. But with Honey Don't, I didn't see that coming.
So, for some context, like Honey Don't also is wildly all over the place, and where Eenie Meanie has more of a straightforward narrative, like A to B kind of a thing, Honey Don't has A through F plot lines, and they all kind of fizzle out and don't come to a cohesive ending. But the problem with the flip to that is that Honey Don't has really awesome, like really good characters, and they are not capitalized on. They just go off to the sunset, and you're like, where'd the movie go? It was very frustrating to sit through. I would say between these two films, I would watch Honey Don't again before Eenie Meanie.
Okay.
And I don't want to watch either one, but if I had to choose.
So just so whoever's listening, we are done with our coverage for Eenie Meanie. But it's kind of like the epilogue. But I do think that I personally would go see Honey Don't versus watching Eenie Meanie. No, I reversed it. I would personally see Eenie Meanie. I said the wrong fucking thing. I would personally see Eenie Meanie more than seeing Honey Don't. Honey Don't irritated me. And it's a film. And Josh, do you mind spoilers for Honey Don't?
Go for it.
Dive in.
All right, so we'll do a brief little thing about Honey Don't, unless you guys have to cut it off. It's up to you. John, do you got to cut off?
Listen, no, this is fine.
You seem like you have a cutoff.
No, I don't have. I have a cutoff for the bad volume of movies I'm watching. It's just
let's talk about Love Hurts for 3 hours.
Sorry, the volume of bad movies I've been watching. That's better put.
Well, here. Well, me and you. We watch a fair share of good and bad. And Josh, you watch, I think, the most of our team for the site currently. And so, I mean, you for sure see a good number of terrible films.
Yeah.
So you're up for really anything. So
yeah,
we'll go ahead and we'll skip over the Honey Don't thing. Honey Don't watch it. But I want to kind of, because we don't really get the four of us. It's the first time the four of us have been on the podcast together. So I do want to just kind of see what is currently in, you can think about it. What is currently your favorite film of this year that you've seen? Doesn't have to be that you've covered for the site. Am I frozen? Okay. That you've seen for the site. And your worst, like what is your, it doesn't have to be like the worst. It can be like, what was the most disappointing film that angered you? So anybody can go. John, you didn't say what your favorite's been this year. What's been your favorite?
Oh, The Life of Chuck. That's the best movie of the year. There's not been a single film that's been better than that movie.
Okay.
Sinners is second. Warfare is third.
Yeah.
For me personally,
do you do a top 10 like on your Letterboxd, or like do you do a list?
I'm gonna wait. We're 3/4 of the way or 2/3 of the way through the year, so I don't want to jump too soon.
Yeah.
But most disappointing, like where I thought it was going to be something really fun and great, and it was not. Was Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay.
That was very sad to see, and
that's one that Josh stepped on.
I thought it was okay.
And
I did too.
I didn't like Materialists. I know someone in the group chat had in the top 3 Materialists. I'm like, oh, we saw a different movie apparently. I think it was.
maybe Kevin.
And then Opus. Opus was rough.
Opus creeped its way into my bottom, but yeah,
Or Prom Queen.
I'll go last on mine. But okay, so Joe,
Yeah.
what about you? What is your favorite? What is your most disappointing? And what is your least favorite?
Yeah, favorite right now, it's going to be that 1-2 punch of Sinners and Warfare for me.
Okay.
Disappointing was that Star Trek Section 31 movie.
I forgot that was this year.
Yeah, I knew going in it wasn't going to be a great movie. I was really hoping it would be fun, and it was just extremely mediocre. Probably most disappointing or movie that I really I'm going to put at the bottom was the George Romero Resident Evil documentary.
Oh, yeah.
I reviewed that. I reviewed
Yep.
that for Cinefied. I was not a fan.
Yeah, no, neither was I.
No.
I think you both watched the screener for it, I believe, right? And
Yeah.
so at least you didn't have to waste any money.
Yes.
And,
So-
and going back to Warfare for a quick second, like Joe, if you're not aware, I served in the Marine Corps for 22 years.
Oh,
I
wow.
just retired. Like, why that matters is in 2005, I was in Iraq for my first of 2 tours, and Warfare, the film, was to date the most accurate, like immersive, true to the letter experience on film of what I remember when I was 19 years old. And so when that movie ended in the theater, I couldn't get out of my seat for 10 minutes. I was so
Wow.
personally moved from it.
Was that
So-
the Alex Garland one?
Yes.
Who did that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a good choice. I echo that choice, Joe.
All right. Give me one moment. We're only going to go for like 5 more minutes. I'm going to pause. But all right. I think we're on to Josh. Josh, what is your favorite and most disappointing and least favorite right now?
I really like Sinners. I didn't get to see it in the theater, and I got to hear about all of you talk about it for like 6 months. It felt like, and
Welcome to the party, Josh.
I know it was fantastic. A couple that I reviewed that I really loved. There's one called Superboys of Malagon that was this Indian film about a bunch of guys who make a Superman film, kind of Be Kind Rewind style. But there's a hook to it that makes it deeper and more meaningful, and that movie floored me. I really liked 40 Acres, which was a really great genre bending kind of movie that came out of nowhere for me. And then Sketch, I loved. Just one of those little screeners that Connor had sitting around, and that movie absolutely killed me as someone with 2 kids. I adored that. I just reviewed one a week ago that I really, really hated. Strange Harvest.
Yeah.
Got a 90% in Rotten Tomatoes. I fucking couldn't stand it. It's like a 90-minute true crime doc, and it literally, that's all it is, but it's not, it wasn't for me. I didn't like
Which when I sent, to be fair, or to be transparent, when I sent it to you, I thought it was going to be like maybe a 50% movie.
Yeah.
I was just like, this seems like a low budget movie, and it was no, it is low budget, but it's apparently a critical delight, except for you. So
I'm not a true crime guy at all, so it fell really flat to me, and I was really bored, and it was just grisly shit after grisly shit. Control Freak was like that for me too. I really hated that movie, and then Love Hurts was so disappointing.
I gotta say, Josh, like your top 3 that you mentioned, I've heard of all 3 of those films. I have not seen any of them. They're on all of my watch list. So I'm happy that you're reporting back that you give them a glowing endorsement. I gotta check them out.
Superboys of Malagon fucked me up. That movie.
That's what I hear. Like it
That
was so
sounds
good.
great. I want to see that now.
Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should be a critic, man. You're really good at this.
Thank you.
going
Almost like I'm a
into-
professional journalist.
You know, that is
That's right.
That is something of note. All right, so my top ones right now, I am going to struggle near the end of the year unless there's something that really like dives in and is like my favorite. Because a lot of them are like right on top of each other. So I'm gonna go and just say like my 5 right now, which are pretty like neck and neck, and they're not anything like that are unpredictable. They're very much like the mainstream favorites right now. Weapons is currently my favorite right now. Weapons tied with a film that I saw at South by Southwest that got distribution. It'll come out next year. So I'm kind of like, should I put it on the list, or it's my personal list, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, love that. Hilarious, inventive. It's one of the best things I've seen. F1, I had such a great theatrical experience with that.
That was good too. Yeah,
and I love Brad Pitt in almost anything. And then Sinners, just everybody was talking how great that was leading up to its release, and then I think I saw it opening day or weekend, and yeah, I mean it's fantastic. And Josh, or really all of us, if you want like someone to text and basically argue with about a film that you love right now this year, Kyle is the guy.
Kyle.
Because Kyle
the greatest
hates
contrarian
everything right now.
I know. Poor Kyle, man.
He hated Sinners. He hated
Superman.
Weapons.
He hated
Superman.
Sinners?
Yeah, he hated Sinners, hated
Oh.
Superman, hated Weapons. And my number 5, talking about Superman, is Superman. I love Superman.
Really good. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'll give Kyle this. On his Letterboxd, he'll write he'll send his full review.
Yeah.
Like whether or not he's writing for Cinefied, he'll just word vomit, and like I give him props. He commits to his side of things, but like I spoke with Kyle at South by Southwest. We were all out there together, and like he has a very particular taste. He's got good taste. I spy on his Letterboxd on occasion, and I see what he likes, and he's above board, I think, on really all the major great classic films. But then you get like the Sinners that come out, or Supermans, and he's just like dive bombing them. Just I don't know. He's such a niche person with his taste.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll fight to the death on his take. So I love
you, Kyle. Your taste is wrong on those 2 movies, but we love you anyway.
Yeah, I remember when he went and saw Superman, because he saw Superman late, or maybe he saw that one opening weekend, and he still has not seen F1, and I told him that those ones that he hates are in my favorites, and he was like, should I see Superman or should I see F1? And I was just like, I mean, it's really like, both are fantastic, very different films. But and then after he watched Superman, he's like, damn, I should have watched F1. I'm like, well, I disagree.
I guess he doesn't
whatever.
like joy.
He doesn't like what? Sorry.
Joy.
Yeah, joy. At least for that film, yeah. I mean, he's definitely a Man of Steel guy, which I love Man of Steel too.
Ooh,
but I mean,
wow.
I do. I love it. But those are my 5 favorites. My most disappointed film for the year is I absolutely loved this Hulu movie called Fresh. I personally think that should have got a theatrical release, and that's I'm not going to remember the names, but Daisy Edgar Jones, and then I can't remember the guy, Winter Soldier actor. It's a fantastic cannibal movie. If you're squirmish at all, don't watch it, but it's just fantastic. And that movie was so good that I was ready for Holland, which is a Nicole Kidman mystery thriller movie. And that movie sucks, but it doesn't suck so bad that it's at the bottom, but it sucks so bad because it's just so underwhelming, and it made me so angry because it was so underwhelming. John, you didn't get a chance to see it at South by, did you? Or have you seen it since?
No, I heard. I didn't hop in line for that. I think I was seeing something else that night, and then no one talked favorably about it, so I didn't really bother myself. What's Fresh on Hulu? You said
Fresh is on Hulu.
I have to look that one up. That and all the ones that Josh mentioned. I'm really amped up to see those now.
Yeah, no, Fresh is great performances, and that was maybe my first introduction to Daisy Edgar Jones, and she's a fantastic actress.
She in Ordinary People?
I don't know. I'd never watched that show. But maybe. My least favorite, and funny enough, the studio sent me a copy after I gave it such a bad review. They sent me a Blu-ray. So it's Brideheart, which is backwards in the camera. But but yeah, Brideheart is an atrocious movie. It looks awful. Like the CGI is ridiculously bad. I'm a person that likes Rebel Wilson. I like most of the things she's done, but yeah, it's just.
I think you mentioned the CGI in your review.
I bet I did.
No, I don't know if you remember, Joe. He went to the group chat with this hatred. He was like, "Guys, this movie fucking sucked. God damn it!" He was so upset about Brideheart.
Yeah,
I was like, "All right, man,
That's
right."
right.
He was.
Hey, it pissed me off, and it still pisses me off because it's my number one worst film
I think
right now.
he was more mad about. I think he's more mad about Brideheart than I am about Eenie Meanie. Like it was
I hope so.
vitriol. It was rough.
Yeah, I really hope so because and the critic's quote on the back, which is just a statement of what the genre is: a mashup of Die Hard, and Bridesmaids. It's like, yeah, that's what the title is. But all right, I think that's the end of our little epilogue we did. Thanks guys for joining me, and thanks everybody for listening to the Cinefied Podcast. You can find more of our episodes. Most of them don't go this long, so it's just a fun little extra bit. But you can find more of the episodes on Spotify as well on Cinefied.com, and you can also read my review of Eenie Meanie, which I don't fully
You're going to
feel
change
the same
right
anymore,
now.
but it's the way it is. I'm not changing shit. So, you can also follow us on Letterboxd. I am trying to keep that up to date nowadays. So give us a follow over there, along with all of our major platforms. And now go pop some popcorn, grab a drink, and remember to stay cinefied.